Alright, so new Steven Universe episode, new review. I gotta say, I really enjoyed this episode. I really, really loved this episode. I thought this was really cool. Now, the plot of this episode is basically Pearl tags along with Steven and Amethyst to a rock concert, and yeah, did anyone else get a feeling of Scott Pilgrim versus the World? I'm asking. Did anyone else get this feeling of Scott Pilgrim versus the World? It felt like Scott Pilgrim, because the main crux of this episode is not only Pearl trying to prove that she's cool. It's very much like that SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs tags along with SpongeBob and Patrick on a crazy night out. All I can think now that I said that, all I can think now is Steven and Amethyst running around in different scenes going, "Can you feel it, Pearl? Can you feel it, Pearl?" Someone better fucking do that. Anyway, but yeah, this does feel more like a Scott Pilgrim episode, because again, the main plot of this episode is not just Pearl trying to prove that she's still hip and cool like your mom, trying her damnedest to prove that she's not old. It's actually about Pearl trying to find a mysterious woman. A large woman with pink hair. And I already heard the sails unfurl for a new ship. Like, seriously, the moment we saw this new girl, the sails just opened up and a new ship just left port. I'm also pretty sure the moment it did leave port, it kind of nuked the SS, the SS, every ship with Pearl in it. Like, every other ship that Pearl was in just got gunned out of existence. Or heavily damaged. Anyway. So, yeah, I really liked this episode. It was a lot of fun. There was some great humor in here. Actually, I think this and Zoltron had some really great humor in this story. I feel like it had some great comedic timing to it. And there's actually some moments in here that felt like references to other things. Like, there's a moment in here where Steven is actually talking to Pearl, and he's like, "Wow, you're a criminal!" And there's a brief moment where I thought Pearl was going to say, "We've always been criminals." Obviously, reference to Dark Knight Returns. There was even, like, Steven felt like Morty in here. I can't be the only one who, in this episode, thought Steven was acting like Morty. Because, like, there's moments where he's like, "Oh, jeez." He's just being completely nervous about everything. So it almost turned into a, like, Rick and Morty episode at some points, or it was just, I can just see Pearl going, "Steven, it's, okay, I'm gonna bang the pink-haired girl. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, jeez, Pearl." Oh, Lord. Lord save me. Anyway. But yeah, getting serious real quick, I thought this was a fun episode, because now we've seen that Pearl has moved on from Rose, or at least she says she has. It's interesting that she's now not only possibly found a new love interest, but also a human love interest. Now, out of all the gems, out of all of them, Pearl's had the less human contact, outside of, just from Connie and Steven, and even then, Steven's just a half gem. Pearl, got tripped over my own words, sorry. Pearl seems to have the least amount of human contact with all the other gems. It really does feel like she has the least amount of human contact, aside from, Greg, Connie, and, Steven to an extent, but he's half human. So really, out of, 2.5 humans, that's about it. Everyone else is just like, she's looked down on humans. This is the first time she's taken a physical interest in a human. And yeah, Steven even says, she looked like Mom. That's why you were interested in her, is because she looked like Mom. And I love all the moments between Pearl and this girl, because it's literally showing that Pearl's in a... she's hopeless. When she's talking to girls, and you can't help but look at her when her first attempt to talk to the girl, and you're like, "Yep, I've been there." You can't help... Even I was like, "Yep, I have been there." I've been there a lot, actually. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys looked at that scene and went, "Yep, yep, 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 yep." I've been there as well. Oh, man. But no, I think it's really cool that we've now introduced... This is a cool way to introduce, hopefully, a completely new character. That's what I'm really hoping here, is that this is the introduction of a completely new character in the show. I'm really interested to see if, this character's going to come back. It's open enough for this character to come back, and I would like to see Pearl's interaction with this mystery girl, as she's currently known as. We still don't know her name. But yeah, I would love to see where they take this kind of possible relationship between Pearl and the girl and this girl. I think it would, I think this would be a cool way to explore Pearl's, furthering interactions with humans. And again, I love how she, her version of small talk is talking about how she saved the human race, and is like, you can thank me for that. I was like, way to go, Pearl. And yeah, I love how Amethyst and Steven, Amethyst especially, is acting like your typical best friend trying to get you with the guy or girl throughout the episode. Trying to be your typical wingman, and it's hilarious. And of course, Steven is even saying this quote unquote credits that he's the voice of reason, as he should be. But yeah, getting back to the matter at hand, not Steven, Pearl. God, I'm just tripping everywhere tonight. Pearl. That's going to be interesting to see if they bring which I have a feeling they will bring this human back and have her interact with Pearl. I'm really curious to see how Pearl's going to interact with humans. Maybe this will be her way of lightening up. Also, like Steven said, she looked a lot like she looked a lot like Rose. And I'm wondering if this is going to be their way, the writer's way of exploring the whole form of relationship where someone is trying to make the other person someone they're not. And, knowing Pearl, she might actually do that, where she tries to, she's projecting her still lingering feelings of Rose on this girl, because she appearance-wise, she looks so much like Rose, but that's not the case. She's not Rose. And that could either, strengthen the relationship and she's finally moving on, or it could damage it and she's left kind of hurt by it. And, that's what I'm thinking, is that's probably the next step, is that, they're going to try to go on a date or talk some more, and Pearl's going to try to project project Rose onto this girl. And it might freak her out. So I'm really curious to see where that goes, because again, this is the whole thing of it could go one way, and because Pearl has said she's in that song, it's very clear that she now can't really move on, but it does kind of leave open that maybe with this new girl she can find someone new, or B, it might end in disaster, because she might try to treat this girl like how she treated Rose, and project you're supposed to be like Rose, why can't you be like I want you to be? And that might be detrimental. And that's an actual real thing that's happened in the real world, where one person gets with someone and they act a totally different way from how the person initially reacted. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Steven Universe crew did something like that with that kind of route, if they bring this character back, which again, pretty goddamn sure that they are. But yeah, there was some great humor in here. I like the idea of of Pearl getting a new love interest, a human love interest, mind you. That's just a whole new other thing of Pearl now actually having a human that she likes. Granted, it reminds her so much of Rose, appearance-wise, but still, it's still a human, and I'm wondering where that goes. What else was I going to say? This is I think this is some interesting new territory we're going towards, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this all ends up going. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this, Last One Out of Beach City? I thought it was going to be a much different episode. But yeah, with these titles, you can never be too sure. That's the big thing, is that you can never be absolutely too sure about these episode titles, because they're always very misleading and very open-ended. So I'm really curious to see, where this where a possible gem-human relationship goes, because we haven't had that since Greg and Rose, and we all know how that turned out. So, yeah, once again, just comment below, let me guys know, do you guys like it? Do you guys like this new character? Do you guys hate it? And where do you think they're going to go with this character in Pearl? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.